Hi viewers. Welcome to Learn with Safi. In this video we see the top 15 Python books to learn Python programming for beginners and veterans. Get started with Python popular language or buff up on your coding skills with this curated book list. Who knew there were so many helpful books out there for Python programmers? This curated list is just a drop in the bucket. As you may know, Python is soaring in popularity. Let's just say, it might be a good idea to get started learning more about Python soon or buffing up on your Python skills. I didn't break this list down into beginner books and advanced books because I recently listened to an insightful podcast about how the more experienced in a task or subject we become, the more likely we are to believe we know everything about it. Yet, refreshing ourselves on the basics and performing simple acts like running through a checklist is important for all of us, for the beginner and advanced user alike. Or, maybe you prefer to start out in the deep end. Either way, links are given in description. Let's dive in. Top 15 Python Programming Books. Automate the Boring Stuff with Python, by Al Swigart. This book is a great resource for those who want to begin to learn and use Python. It's a practical introduction to programming and has been released with a Creative Commons license. In addition to the book, the author has created a website where the entire book is available. In addition, the online course on udemy.com covers most of the content of the book. If you prefer a video format, the entire book is on YouTube and narrated by Al. Effective Python, 59 Specific Ways to Write Better Python by Brett Slatkin. Effective Python will help you harness the full power of Python to write exceptionally robust, efficient, maintainable, and well-performing code. Utilizing the concise, scenario-driven style pioneered in Scott Myersaw's best-selling Effective C++, Brett Slatkin brings together 59 Python best practices, tips, shortcuts, and realistic code examples from expert programmers. Fluent Python, Clear, Concise, and Effective Programming by Luciano Ramelho. With this hands-on guide, you all learn how to write effective, idiomatic Python code by leveraging its best features. You will go through Python's core language features and libraries, and this book shows you how to make your code shorter, faster, and more readable at the same time. With this book, Python programmers will thoroughly learn how to become proficient in Python 3. Hello Web App, by Tracy Osborne. This is a series of books that show you how to build your first web app, which happens to use Django, recently updated for Django 2.0. It is extremely accessible for beginners, has a separate book specifically on intermediate topics, and the third in the series about design is also very good. Invent Your Own Computer Games with Python, by Al Swigart. In learning to program, motivation is often a limiting factor. What can be more motivating than, literally, programming fun? The rewards are immediate and easy to show off to friends and family. Learning Python, by Mark Lutz and David Asher. When I need a command I haven't used in a while, this is my go-to book. I have yet to find an online resource that helps me find things I need as fast. Learning Python, Learn to Code Like a Professional with Python by Fabrizio Romano. This book is a handy way of learning Python, easing readers into the language. This is a good starting point for beginners. Learn to Program with Python 3, by IRV Kalb. The two advantages of this book are that it starts from modern technology and builds on the experience the author has in teaching real students. Those make it a great first programming book for people who want to learn how to program from scratch. Programming Arcade Games with Python and Pygame, by Paul Craven. Programming computer games is a great way of learning Python and is perhaps the most fun way of doing so. You'll see your code literally come to life and animate on the screen, giving you a great way to learn object-oriented programming concepts. It's a good idea to understand the basics first, see my first recommendation, but this book also goes over the basics. Python 101, by Mike Driscoll. This book is great for newcomers. The content is approachable and the lessons teach idiomatic Python so that when a developer breaks out into the world from simple projects to more advanced topics, they are already coding stylistically how other Pythonists will expect, and code the reader encounters will, most likely, follow similar and familiar patterns. The book does a good job of covering the basics and offering the reader a solid foundation of knowledge. Python Cookbook, by David Beasley and Brian K. Jones. This book is geared toward professional Python programmers. It covers, in one comprehensive volume, tutorials on the most common programming tasks. Code examples in the book show you how things are done in idiomatic Python 3 code. The book explains why and how the code works, which is very helpful. Inside, you will find guides on topics like data encoding, data structures, algorithms, metaprogramming, and concurrency. Python Tricks, the book by Dan Bader. This book walks programmers through some interesting and often untraveled areas of the language's syntax as well as execution side effects of the official reference Python interpreter, CPython. By going through these exercises, programmers learn clever ways to make their code more performant through optimizations as well as corner cases of the language to avoid that could cause unintended behavior in software. Scaling Python, by Julian Danjou. While it's easy to learn Python and start building applications with it, creating software that will work correctly for a large number of users is another story. Scaling Python focuses on writing largely scalable and highly distributed Python applications. You'll learn what works and what does not work when using Python to write your next big project. The book is illustrated with 7 interviews with prominent open source developers who talk about their battlefield experience and give great advice. The Hacker's Guide to Python by Julian Danjou. There are tons of books that teach the basics of Python. Once you read them, you're usually familiar enough to start writing your first application. But then comes a ton of other questions about how to organize your project, how to distribute it so others can use it, how to achieve decent performances, how to test, etc. The Hacker's Guide to Python answers to all those questions and more by providing concrete answers to those issues. The author shares his 10+ years of experience with Python and provides ready-to-go solutions. The book is also illustrated with 8 interviews from software engineers, CPython developers, and open-source hackers. The Quick Python book by Naomi Cedar. Naomi has been part of the Python community for a long time, and it shows in her book. Now in its 3rd edition, the book is a comprehensive reference to Python and full of deep insights. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell.